What's good, y'all? This your country cousin Pete McCorvey, a.k.a. Petey Mac. Man, get on up here. Pull you up one, light you up one, kick your shoes off, relax, baby. You around family. We on the porch. It's Pete McCorvey's Porch Talk. Let's do this. What's good, family? This your country cousin Pete McCorvey, a.k.a. Peter Mac. Welcome back to the porch, baby. You know, we ending the week, man. It's Saturday. This actually was a very, very good week, man. I have no complaints. Life was just good this week. I mean, a lot of great things fell in my way. I'm not going to go into it because there's personal things, that some things I've been wanting to happen for me. But things have been going great. I ain't got no complaints. I mean, this is the first time in like a long time I can actually say, like Mitch on Paid in Full, life is good. Life is good, man. You know, just professionally, financially, everything moving. Now, if I get this, you know, I get my love life to work, you know, then we'll be 100%, but you know, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. You gotta take what you can get, man. But like I said, life is good right now. And I'm happy, man. You're like, yeah, words can't even explain it. Music, I really don't have nothing to go on for new music for this week. Well, there is new music that came out this week, but a lot of y'all may not know this unless you follow me on Facebook, and if you took it seriously, I've really been taking a sabbatical from listening to rap, including G-Funk, and anybody knows me, y'all know I am a G-Funk man. A lot of my friends tell me my body was born in Mississippi in 1989, but my spirit was born in Long Beach or the Crenshaw district back in 71 to 73. And my taste in music reflects that. So I just gave a sabbatical to not listening to any rap. I just been doing nothing but R&B this week, and mainly that was played upon a series that I watched on Netflix, and I made some TikToks and put some Facebook statuses up about it. And y'all, we'll talk about that you'll talk about the series that I'm talking about, because I'm going to review it later on in this episode. But 2 new things came out, so when my sabbatical is up tomorrow, I'm going to listen to it. One is a new album by one of my new favorite West Coast artists. That's Pookie Effin' Rude. If y'all know him, y'all know his name, because I've talked about y'all from his song. I put that on everything, where he did a remix with West Coast legends E40, Sugar Free, and Warren G's, a new school G-Funk song. And also when he released his album that had all the songs he had been putting out since I started following him in 2023, Birth to the West. He has a new album out called Manifestation. And I can't wait to hear that. Also, Larry June, he has an album out, not an album, he has a single out right now with Cardo Got Wings. I don't know why Cardo changed his name to Cardo Got Wings, but still the same old dude making the same great tracks that he's been known for producing, and it's called Black Man. I can't wait to see it. It looks like, from what I saw, a snippet of the video, because you know how Spotify would show the video in the background. Looks like they making a play on the movie The Last Black Man in San Francisco. So I can't wait till tomorrow. I'm gonna list that. Those 2 are the first on my list. Now, when I said I found some music, but no new music, I did discover a new song from Victoria Monet. Like I said, I discovered this during the Netflix series that I'm going to talk about later on in this episode, and the song is called New Love by Victoria Monet. It came out on her album Life After Love, which was released in 2018. Now, for those of y'all who may not be familiar with Victoria Monet, she had a song that won a few Grammys a year or so ago. you know, it's on my mama, you know, I put that on my mama, on my hood. So I didn't know she had been making music that long. Like the album that this song New Love came out like back in 2018. And I love the whole song. One, the woman got a beautiful voice. Two, it's got a New Jack Swing vibe to it. And anybody, so a lot of people don't know, unless you've been knowing me for years. In addition to G-Funk, I like New Jack Swing. I've always liked New Jack Swing because I remember always envying the time period when I watched the, you know, the fashion, you know, the vibe of going to the club, everybody's dancing, you know, it was pretty much a workout to dance. It pretty much, if anyone ever watched some old movies from the 40s where they were swing dancing and all that, that pretty much was the late 80s, early 90s, probably like from like 1987 to like 1993. That was hip hop's culture's version of swing, which is probably why it got the name the New Jack Swing. So I love that sound. It sounded like something that Janet Jackson would have had on her album back in the day. And then on top of that, the woman just nice to look at. I've noticed that when I saw her on my mama video. So like, they've been discovering that. Then like I said, I just went down a rabbit hole of R&B this past week, listening to old school R&B, new school R&B. You know, shout out to Victoria Monet. Shout out to Eric Billinger. He doesn't get a lot of credit that he deserves, because that man makes some great R&B music. Of course, you know, I had to go listen to Masego. You know, you can't listen to R&B without listening to Masego, especially that Ta-da. Like Ta-da that's just a track that's going to always have me in the chokehold, whether I'm with a woman chilling, whether I'm driving, whether I'm just at the house just chilling, you know, watching the sunset, because out on my balcony, I actually got a great view of a mountain range, so I can like put that on and just vibe out. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been on there. Now on to the NBA. Man, both the Knicks and the Timberwolves are both in trouble. They are both down 2-0. They're down 2-0. Especially like the Knicks. Oh man, the first game of the Eastern Conference Final. Man, boy, it's Tyrese Halliburton hit a game-winning shot in overtime to let the Pacers win 138 to 135, and that ain't just, they in the Garden too. Not only did he do that for the Pacers in the Garden, after the brother hit the shot, he turned towards Reggie Miller and did the choke sign that Reggie Miller, he mimicked the choke sign that Reggie Miller had did to Spike Lee back in the 90s when they were going at the playoffs with the Knicks. I was thinking to myself like, yo, that's crazy. And you know Reggie Miller, he a chief shit talker, so you know he took it as pride. You know he was cheesing his ass off. But man, it seems like the Knicks kryptonite or the Indiana Pacers, and it seems like the Pacers been the Knicks kryptonite since the 90s for like 30 years. They just can't, them boys just come for blood. So my dream of seeing the Knicks possibly go to the finals and finally get one for the first time since 1973, it don't look like it's gonna come to fruition, y'all. But maybe the Knicks can battle back and get it done. But woo, yeah, it ain't looking too pretty for the Knicks, man. Ant-Man, you need to stop. You need to quit with all that drama with all these baby mama, bro. You need to lock in, dog. Like, cause bro, you finna go outside, man. I don't want to see you go outside, man. But it looks like it's about to happen. But bro, like, come on, man, fight like that one video. Fight back, nigga. Oh man. Now we're gonna move on. We talk about Netflix. I'm gonna move on, eventually leading up to the series that I was telling y'all about in the beginning. But first, we're gonna talk about this new comedy series that Tyler Perry has out on Netflix called She the People. She the People stars Terry J. Vaughn, and she plays Antoinette Dunkerson, who is the black female lieutenant governor of the state of Mississippi. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, this show right here is funny as hell. If we talk about Tyler Perry and his movies and how they show, you know, the worst of us and it's just unnecessary gay shit and, you know, he just be having just foul language for no reason. While this show does have some foul language, it ain't just foul over the top. This show is hilarious. Like this, if it would have been clean cut and like early 2000s on back, I could have seen this show on network TV because that show had me in. She the People had me in stitches. Oh my God. That show is hilarious. Mojo Brooks is on there. For those of y'all who know Mojo Brooks is, he's an internet sensation. Actually very talented stand-up. I've seen some of his stand-up clips online too. But most of y'all know him. If you, like me, you've been knowing him where he did this Mr. James video where he would like put a wig on and then like have his voice high pitch and act like this young girl messing with a sugar daddy, Mr. James, and then he'll have his face with a little distorted filter and have like a little, like something like silver slip on over his tooth, look like one of them old players that got the gold tooth, but they might remember them young girls. And you know, remember him, he's like, Mr. James, I need this. Well, you gotta do something to train for James to just do it. Mr. James, I don't feel like doing none of that. Oh, that little pussy ungrateful. No, it's not. It gotta be. That's who Mojo Brooks is. He was hilarious enough, but the person in there who was hilarious to me was Joan Marie Payton. For those of y'all, if you don't know that name, that is Harriet Winslow from Family Matters, or the Urkel Show, as some of y'all know, because there's literally some people out there who don't know. When I used to say, like in school, like Family Matters, like the hell is Family Matters when they come on? And I'm like, the show that stay like, oh, you mean Urkel? I'm like, no, it's called Family Matters, bro. That woman was hilarious on there to me. Boy, she had me from the moment she showed up in the first episode till, you know, I mean, from the moment she showed up in the first episode, and she said when she was talking, she plays Antoinette's mother, Cleo. And Cleo has two teenage kids, a teenage daughter, teenage son. And, not Cleo, Antoinette has a teenage daughter, teenage son. And she said, I got to get home to them kids. Man, Cleo said, girl, them kids old enough they could have Medicare. You don't need to take care of them. Boy, I was in tears. Like, that writing, I don't know if Tyler Perry low-key went out and hired some other writers or he was just in his bag. But that's great writing. Maybe, if he didn't hire nobody, then maybe, I'm going to say this. Tyler Perry just needs to stick to comedy because, like, boy, that show, it kind of reminds me of, you know, it's like a Mississippi older female political version of Buyer's Remorse. Y'all remember Buyer's Remorse with Jesse Usher, Tashina Arnold? That used to come on Stars. Yeah, that it's kind of like in that realm with that show. Like it is well thought out. And the thing I love about it is it actually makes sense for Mississippi. Like they're not having no over the top thing. The only thing they had that was over the top, but you know that's people gonna pick fun at like Hicksville anyway. They had a pig calling contest. But they're not over the top. They don't have those people with them over the top country accents. And not only that, the people enunciate Mississippi correctly. That is one of my biggest pet peeves when I watch something and the way people say Mississippi, they go Mississippi. I'm like, nobody in Mississippi says Mississippi. We don't say, well, in the great state of Mississippi, don't nobody say Mississippi. Nobody from Mississippi say Mississippi. We say Mississippi. And that's even wrong because it's supposed to be Mississippi. But we say Mississippi. It's Mississippi. Like you ask me where I'm from, like where you from? I'm from Moss Point, Mississippi. It ain't gonna be I'm from Moss Point, Mississippi. Don't nobody say that. But then the thing, like I said, Also love how they didn't give black characters like them over the top, like mimicking white people's southern accent, because that is my biggest pet. That's another big pet peeve I have with shows like this. Like one show in particular, and we don't know if it's coming back or not, because a lot of people just at the point, they were like, y'all might as well keep this shit. It's been too long. We don't even care. That's P-Valley. I hated that. Like a lot of people like, all they do is show this gay stuff. Autumn, she bored as hell. I said, man, fuck all that. What's up with them accents? Especially Miss Mississippi. I hated her accent. I'm like, don't nobody white, black, that's from the hood talk like that in Mississippi. That is mimicking a white woman from Mississippi accent. And even white women from Mississippi don't talk like that. That's on some Scarlett O'Hara Gone with the Wind shit they gave her. So I love the fact that they, tried to stay true to what they had. And it was also cool that Terry J. Vaughn put her real life husband, Karan Riley, who been in his bag lately. That man he did it from Tubi movies to, straight streaming platforms. I think I seen him on something that was on network TV too. That man has been in his bag, man. I didn't know the brother used to play like defensive line in the NFL. I'm like, dang, because he look, as you see him, he look, you can tell Bud is solid, but it's like he don't look like he used to play, unless he must have just, he must have just trimmed up or something. But like, hey, the man, he the goat in my book, because he married Miss Terry J. Vaughn, and that woman, to be in her 50s, she still looks gorgeous. Oh my God. I wouldn't give her a day past 37. She could easily play past for 37. She still looks like she a couple of years removed from walking off the set of the Steve Harvey Show. This show right here, can't wait till the next batch of episodes come out August 14th. Oh my God, that is like, I went in skeptical. I'm like, man, as a Mississippian, especially a black Mississippian, please don't let Tyler Perry screw us. Tyler Perry got it right. He got it right with them one. Like, hey, I don't know, may not support all his programs, because I'm trying to get through Beauty in Black, and I'm struggling through it. But that one, I sat there and watched it all in, like She the People, I sat there and watched that all in one shot. Yeah, he definitely got my support on that, especially with Raising Kanan being off into next year and the rookie being off into next year. I definitely got a show I can lock into now. Matter of fact, speaking of that, when is Force coming back? I'm ready to see what Tommy gonna do in Chicago. Now, especially since his little Spanish or should I say his little Spanish C, for those of y'all slow motherfuckers, C is how you say yeah in Spanish. I wonder what he gonna do now that she kidnapped. So I'm ready for that to come back. Now, another thing I want to, talk about, man. So Netflix this past week released another Untold. That's they answered the ESPN's 30 for 30. And it was on what happened with Brett Favre when he was at the Jets, why, the dick pic he sent, it's called Untold, the fall of Brett Favre. Now, I'm not really... So basically, they didn't tell us nothing we didn't know. And I don't know what is going on, but that just seems like this is becoming a common theme with like quarterbacks that were NFL quarterbacks from Mississippi. Because the same thing with the Steve McNair one they released like a year or so ago. They didn't really divulge on no information that we didn't already know. And the same with Brett Favre. But the thing was, they only gave us an hour. I don't know why for us, for quarterbacks from the state of Mississippi, they seem to just we're going to do this 1 hour and go. Because they didn't really go into the details about the welfare fraud he had on Mississippi that he used for facilities at his alma mater of Southern Mississippi. They just kind of, like I said, they was talking about him, the incident he had with the woman, and I was like, okay, so we're going to get in that. Like I said, I'm going to say the same thing about Brett Favre's untold that I said about Steve McNair. We needed 2 hours. We needed 2 hours, or at least an hour and a half. But 1 hour, that wasn't enough to even dent the surface. It was not enough to dent the surface. But what I did realize is that woman who he sent them pictures to, like sideline reporter who used to be in Maximum, Jen Sturger, she is full of shit. That woman full of more shit than a backed up toilet. Like, from the moment they introduced her, she talked about, see, I already knew she was on bullshit when she said, well, I was kind of, quirky, band, and I was kind of like weird and all. That's a lot of these girls' number one thing. Oh, I'm nerdy, I'm quirky, I'm eccentric. No, you saying that because you want everybody to look at you like you prime and innocent and all that. You out in them streets just like everybody else. Like, and she just was so full of herself, like. So she got famous because Brent Musburger found her in the crowd at a 2005 Miami Florida State game at Doak Campbell State. She went to Florida State University. He found her there. She had a bikini top on. I'm not gonna lie, she was looking nice. And Brent Musburger was thirsting after her, talking about, so, well, Florida State just got a lot of people applying to go to school there, and she pretty much ran with that. Like, talking about she was the first person to, break the internet, and, she was a trend. I'm like, girl, bye. Like, you ain't all that point. You the first person you're the first female from a school with a great climate, that's an area that's got a great climate, to show up to the game in something skimpy. Oh, okay. Yeah, like, she really was just full of herself and thought, and you can tell from looking at her, she clear, because she talking about she needed to go away and regroup, and all that stuff was happening with Brett Favre, and he did all the stuff he was doing. I just need to go somewhere, regroup, and just get myself together. So I moved to Los Angeles. So you move to the place full of delusion, self-indulgence, and on top of that, using clout to get what you want, a clout chasing, because you were distraught by this man who tried to use his clout to get to you. So you moved to a place full of men oh yeah, this woman's full of shit. And you can tell she done had work done on her face. Like, this woman's so self-absorbed. The thing was, her 15 minutes of fame ran out after that. That whole incident with Brett Favre sent to that text message of his junk, and she couldn't capitalize on more, so she ended up moving out to LA and probably tried to go out there and be famous. But then by that time, she wasn't shit no more. So yeah, I can like listen to her. I was like, oh, this woman's so full of shit, and so think she more than what she is. Yeah. So both of her and Brett Favre, they was a piece of work. Well, I think it was, I'm going to be honest with you, based on what I seen, she tried to act like she wasn't into it. I don't think it was, she wasn't not interested in him. She just didn't have no way she could get to him without somebody finding out. I really believe if she would have had a way to get to Brett Favre without somebody finding out, she'd have been like, man, she'd have been on that man like white on rice, man, for real. But no, the funniest line came from a journalist in there, because I didn't even know Brett Favre was out there. I knew he was drinking, because I knew that's why he got booted from the Atlanta Falcons, because I knew that Tommy Glanville didn't like him in Atlanta. He used to call him Mississippian country all the time, because he really just thought he was a country bumpkin. But I didn't know he was out there cheating on his wife, and I didn't know his wife had cancer either. Until they revealed that. That's one thing we did, like we learned about cancer, wife having cancer in there. But one of the journalists in there said his editor wanted him to come and write, because like Brett Favre was known for like cheating on his wife too. He was a big womanizer. And he said his editor came and said he wanted him to write a feature on Brett Favre being a good family man and all that. That journalist said, I looked at my editor and said, I can't write fiction. I don't write fiction. Boy, I was on my couch like, damn! Because, one, a lot of journalists, they love it's a few, because journalists get a bad rap for people making up stuff. Yellow journalism, as it's called, where you just kind of sensationalize stuff. That man looked his editor in there. That's a journalist who actually took moral and ethics that a lot of us are taught in journalism, because I actually went to school for journalism, haven't capitalized on it yet. I still would like to, but at 36, you gotta come to terms with reality. But for him, as a journalist, to uphold them principles that we learn in college, and I said, I can't write fiction, and I don't write fiction. That's good on that journalist, man. But yeah, like Untold, The Fall of Brett Favre, yeah, that was. The next time they do something about an athlete from Mississippi, I'm not gonna hold my breath, because it's like, oh, they're just gonna give us about 1 hour. But if I see it's past 1 hour, I'll tune in. Now I'm gonna move on to the last review I'm gonna do, and I've been hitting at this since the episode began, and that is on this show that Netflix did, and they did their big one with this show, and this show is a breath of fresh air. It's called Forever. Now, look back, drop a body. Forever is based on a Judy Blume book from 1975 about a teenage boy and a teenage girl who, they're starting to explore being each other's first love and explore, sexuality and all that type of thing. But they re-imaged it. And it's got a black re-image thanks to Mara Akil Brock. A lot of y'all know her from being one of the driving forces behind Girlfriends and a lot of other black programs that in like 2000s up to now that kind of had us in a chokehold. She actually first got her. She actually was one of the only female writers on the Jamie Foxx show, and I found this out looking up, researching her. She actually got broke into screenwriting, writing for an old sitcom that Fox had ran for one season called South Central. That actually was one of Lorenz Tate's first fortes in the television, and it actually what Lamont Bentley was doing. He was on before he got on Moesha. So this woman has been around for like over 30 years, and she actually acted a little bit. She acted, I remember seeing a couple episodes of Girlfriend, and I remember she was in a few episodes. This is where I remember her from. I didn't even know she was a writer and stuff like that. I remember she was in a few episodes of The Parkers too. I can't remember her character's name, but she played that sedity sorority girl, like rich girl, when Kim and them was pledging that was giving them hell, who also went on to be kind of like a nemesis to Kim and Nikki, like, came from a real hoity-toity family, like, as we call them, sedated black chick or bougie-ass black chick. Yeah, I remember her from that, but yeah, she did her big one. Anyway, I digress. So this story tells about two teenagers, girl named, they're from opposite sides of the 10 in Los Angeles. African Americans, and the 10 is in Los Angeles. They have both of them African American. Tells a story about Justin. He's kind of unconfident, unsure teenage boy from a well-to-do black family north of the 10, and Keisha, who's headstrong, very intelligent, very athletic sister from south of the 10, i.e. South Central. So it goes on New Year's night, New Year's Eve, 2017, and they go to a house party of a mutual friend, and they reconnect. They went to elementary school with each other, and they reconnect, and then from there we follow them on like a year plus relationship they have with each other. And I like I said, well written. And I give it a 9 for 10. The reason I give it a 9 for 10 because it started out slow, but once it got the kick cooking, it really got to going. And I love this. The reason I love this series because it's the same reason why I told people I love The Wood. We are seeing every day. We see African Americans, especially when you're looking at Los Angeles or any other city. We seeing drugs. We seeing gangs, violence. Baby mama drama, broken homes, poverty. It's just a struggle. This show was a breath of fresh air because we didn't really see that. We saw black excellence and we saw people striving for black excellence because Keisha, like I said, she came from a single parent household and her mother was working hard to get by, but it wasn't like her mother was relying on food stamps, relying on welfare. Her mother was there. And even though her father wasn't there, it wasn't like he just didn't care. Her father was off playing baseball in another country, in the Dominican Republic. So they show kids who had parents who actually gave, not just parents, they had other people who cared about them. Because like Keisha had a whole tribe. Her mama's friend was cared about what she did. Her granddad used to wake her up and go with her 4 a.m, help her run stuff to help her get better at track. Her friends always kept encouraging, like a hairdresser always kept encouraging her and stuff like that. It showed that, and then Justin, like I said, he came from a well-to-do, well-structured black family. His dad was a very successful chef. By the way, shout out to his dad, Eric, who was played by the great Wood Harris. You either know him as Ace Boogie from Paid in Full, you know him as Avon Barksdale from The Wire, or like me, y'all can know him as that. I met him as Motar with Above the Rim. But Wood Harris did his thing as the father. His father actually is the father that a lot of black men need help. My father was there for me, but I was like, I wish my father could have been more like Wood Harris's character, Eric. Because Eric was, while he taught the boy to be a man, he also was supportive. It wasn't no stop crying, stop being a bitch, or nigga, get over it and just move on. No, his dad was that guy. When his dad told him at the beginning, when he was going to the party, we ended up meeting Keisha, he told him some real valuable advice because the party, so Eric, like I said, Justin went to school with predominantly white kids. So, he didn't really get to be around a lot of black kids. Eric told Justin straight like this, said, hey man, if you talk to a young lady, she drunk, don't do it. He said, she hesitate, don't do it. He said, if you not sure, don't do it. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It was like, damn, he just straight like that. Look, man, don't put yourself in no situation or anything like that where you can't, that this could go bad, especially being black. And now his mother, on the other hand, his mother was a successful woman, a graduate from Northwestern. She wanted him to strive for the best. She wanted him to understand, you are black, so, and she told him something real too. She was kind of overbearing, but I got where she was coming from. Cause she told him, she said, you being black is not enough. So you gotta be black with a degree. She said, even being black with a prestigious degree from a prestigious university, she said, that doesn't guarantee anything. She said, but that helps. So I got them, and I love their balance. His mother, who was Dawn, played by Karen Pittman, who I was just kind of shocked because I came to find out that she was only 39. That's 3 years older than me. I thought that one was I remember I told my mama she was only 39. My mama ooh, Lord, she looked way older than that. She said, she beautiful. She said, but I thought the woman was damn near in her 40s or in her 50s, or in her early 50s. She said, she don't look 39. But like I said, Don would do all the stuff she on his back and on his case, but then Eric would tell her, like, you worry too much, stop. And there's a couple of times that Eric would be like, okay, I'm letting you do this, but now you're starting to do the most. Cool out. You know, and it kind of killed me because Don, of course, you know, like most black mothers, they want their black son to date a black girl. But the paradox with that is you got this boy in a completely white world where he don't hardly see nobody that look like him. But you surprised that he's not dating someone that don't look like him. That's why in like later episodes, when they had their Uncle Charlie, you know, they always got to put the sassy gay relative or something like that. But Uncle Charlie made a great, clearly he was gay. But he made a great point. He was like, you need to, he said, it's cool. Because like I said, Don wanted Justin to go to Northwestern and like her and all that. And Charlotte, they was at the little summer house in Martha's Vineyard. And Charles said, no, you need to let them go to the HBCU, be around their people and all that type of stuff. And then they want to get their master's degree. They can go on over there and be with them white folks in Northwest. Which I thought was like very good, especially for Justin. Because Justin, you know, he suffered from ADHD. He was socially awkward. He needed that. He really needed that. So, like I said, they showed a lot of perspectives from a lot of different black people that was around them that was all like welcome and needed. And the thing is, while Keisha and Justin, they were young and things like that, but I'm gonna be honest with you, the way they handled their problems, especially in the end, they handled their problems better than a lot of us in our 30s, 40s, and hell, some of us in our 50s be handling it, myself included. Like the last episode, the last part of the last episode, how there was a situation that arose and how they dealt with it. I was like, we adults need to watch this and learn from these kids because they handled that real maturely. But like I said, it was a lot of, it just was like very well written, very well acted. You know, Lovey Simone, that girl been doing her thing since Greenleaf when she played Zora in Greenleaf. And I ain't gonna lie, a couple of things Keisha had did, and I'm like, damn, it was reminiscent of Zora in Greenleaf. So 9 for 10, acting was great, the writing was great. And the last thing I'm going to say about it, the music they had in there. Oh my God. I've said this on TikTok. I've said it on Facebook. And I'm going to say it again. Mark Kilbrock, whoever was in charge of that music, they deserve a raise. Because they had music on there I have forgotten all about it. Like I said, it took place between 2017, 2018, like going in 2019. It was music that came out around that time. I forgot this banger dropped in. Like they had While We're Young by Jhené Aiko. They had Butterfly Effect by Travis Scott. They had played Ta-Da by Masego. And some other tracks I found up, like I told y'all at the top of the show, New Love by Victoria Monet. Like I said, didn't even know she had been around making music that long. I knew she was writing music for people, but I know she was around making her own music for that long. Like I was going through a lot between 2017 and 2019, so I really wasn't in grasp with music like that. But like I was talking to one of my coworkers, I said, you know what? While 2016 might have been the last overall great year, I'm like, them residual years, like 2017, 2018, probably 2019, they weren't too shabby. Because I'm not going to lie, 2019 was a good year for me, but it wasn't a great year. It was a bounce back year for me. But, But yeah, it, like that music. Oh, music was on point. Like I was there with Shazam on. Just every time I'm like, Shazam was just like, I was like a gunslinger with my phone and Shazam. I could pull it out, find it, go look it up, and yeah, like that's one of the reasons why I was like, man, there's a lot of R&B music out there I need to listen to. And thanks to Forever, I can. Good thing about the show, it got picked up for another season. Which is, I get it, it's good for you know, all the people that run the show, create the show, you know, get your coins, I ain't mad. I kind of feel, I got mixed emotions because the book ends a certain way, which I don't think the show going in. Because to be honest with you, I think they should have left it a limited series because the way the season ended, it's kind of parallel to how the book ended. And that's why I said I think they should just left it alone right there. But, you know, I get it. If you got something great, you know, capitalize, keep rolling with it. But Netflix has definitely given me some. That season right there is probably up there with, you know, Friday Night Lights, the TV show, not the movie, The Wire, The Sopranos, and Paid in Full. You know, those are something, you know, those are movies and TV shows that no matter how many times I watch them, every so often, every maybe year or so, I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch it again like I've never seen it. It's got that type of watchability. So I definitely will be, maybe in a couple months, maybe at the beginning of next year, I'll probably do it for like New Year's. That'll probably be like something I do on New Year's. I'll go back and rewatch Forever. Because it definitely was, yo, like Netflix doing their thing lately. I got to give it to Netflix. Anyway, man, that's been my time. I'm about to get off the porch from talking to y'all, man. You know, y'all can find me on Facebook. You know the name. You can find me on Instagram, Pete McCorvey. Not Pete McCorvey. That's my Facebook. Y'all find me on Instagram, PDMac10, PETEYMAC10. Or find me on TikTok. Help me get them numbers up on my reels. And my TikToks, you know, TikTok is PDMac89, the same as the Instagram. Just set a 1 to 0, put an 8 and a 9 in its place. You know, until next week, y'all, be cool, stay calm, get paid. Peace.